You look good, Jody.
Now, how come you can see me and I can't see you?
I don't know that. Oh, let me see. Try that. Would like to access. Okay, let me see. Can you see me now? Does that work?
No, not yet.
Huh. Does that work?
Oh, now I see you.
Okay. Got her done. How you holding up?
Oh, okay.
That sounds like too many things going on.
Well, I was trying to take this week off. But
I'm sorry.
I was in on Monday. I was in yesterday. I'm in today, and I got to come in tomorrow.
I feel your pain. I think to take off, you have to physically, geographically remove yourself.
I know.
But hopefully we got a staff at some point where you can take some time off. Easier.
Yeah, but then I have to go home and help my wife clean the house.
Well, now that there's something. Yeah, I maybe you should go to work. Yeah.
So I take it you're doing much better with your back.
Much better. I can't believe how much better I feel and how much of my mental acuity it was taking from me, the pain.
Oh,
You know, it was, you know, there's a constant toothache for 5 years. So, yeah, I'm feeling so much better, resting better, you know, feel more alert.
good.
I could be dangerous. No, go ahead.
Well, good morning, everybody.
Morning.
And
Hey,
Good
Jody.
morning.
Megan has a doctor's appointment this morning, so she's up in Cooperstown. And Dave, you're going to have to be in charge of the meeting since Jeff Joyner had a previous commitment.
Great.
Don't run away, Dave.
Now I just had to grab something. Give me a second. I got to pull up the agenda. One second. Unless you can put the agenda up, Jody, I'm looking for the agenda.
I don't have access to that, but
Yeah.
I will walk you through the agenda.
No, I actually I have it. Sorry.
Oh,
Okay. This is the COIDA board meeting. Jody, do you want to do roll call?
yeah, Jeff Joyner has an excused absence. Dave Rowley,
Here.
Jeff Lord,
I'm here.
Craig Gelsman, Tom Armeo,
Here,
Patricia Kennedy,
Here.
Cheryl Robinson,
Here.
Andrew Marietta.
Here.
And Josh Edmonds.
Here.
Okay, you have a quorum.
Great. Obviously, with you stepping in for Jeff, we're going to skip the chairman's remarks at this particular point in time. Next on the agenda is approval of the September 24th board meeting minutes. Everyone's had an opportunity to review those, hopefully. Do I have a motion for approval?
Make a motion.
I think that was-
Second. Second.
Did you get those, Jody?
Um,
Andrew made the motion.
and Cheryl, did you second it?
Patricia did.
Okay.
Discussion? Questions? No discussion, no questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? No opposed? No abstentions? Motion carries. Moving to the next agenda item is the report of the Audit and Finance Committee and Treasurer. I think Jeff is here. Jeff?
Yeah, as typical, we'll let the minutes serve as a report from the audit and finance and the treasurer.
Any questions? I don't think we need a vote on that, correct?
No.
No. Report on the Projects Committee.
I will also let the meeting minutes stand if anyone has any questions.
Being no questions, move to the next item, new and unfinished business. Jody?
Just before we start that, we do have one bill to pay, which is a $4,500 to PaperKite doing the marketing campaign for us.
Right, I saw that. We need a motion. Jody?
Yeah. Yes.
Could I have a motion to authorize the payment of the $4,500 PaperKite?
So moved.
Tom?
I'll second that, Josh.
Josh, second, and Jody. Any discussion? Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Okay, Jody, go ahead.
Okay, we do have an issue to discuss regarding paying bills. Right now, we require 2 signatures, and then that's a good thing. But it becomes more difficult. Usually Megan goes down and meets with Jeff Joyner and then tries to touch base with our mail. Jeff in his new role has been extremely busy right now, and he's requested that we go to electronic checking. The problem with that is that Megan can certainly issue the checks, but she's not technically a board member.
Excuse me. Hi. You're over.
So the question comes up, we've been doing some research on it, and it's actually very difficult to get 2 parties checks electronically. And most companies allow that to occur. They only scan the first signature on the check anyway, so you could actually put somebody else's signature on the second signature and it won't scan it. We've also been concerned that Megan right now, as well as the consulting firm we use to balance our books every month, they have access to our checking account right now. So technically Megan can issue checks because she's authorized on the account. The problem, and what we've checked with our insurance company, is we pay an extra $500 right now for $100,000 coverage for theft. And Megan is extremely honest. I have no doubt that but obviously there's some concern by some, that we shouldn't have anybody on staff having the ability to write a check for $200,000 and then, or $500,000 and then leaving the country. So we're trying to research on what we can do to resolve this issue. And if anybody has any suggestions about how your company handles it differently.
Jody, who exactly has check signing authority right now, other than Jeff Joyner?
Right now it's
Cheryl, raise your hand.
Patricia. I think Dave is on it as well.
Dave, and
Yeah,
you.
but it requires 2 signatures. Is that what you're saying, Andrew?
Well, yeah, I was just wondering who qualifies. And Jody, you're also signatory, I assume.
No, I'm not.
I mean, why can't we? I guess I'm looking at it from a nonprofit angle. I mean, a lot of small nonprofits have the executive director as one of the signatories. So if you were the first, and then I would hope you could chase down one other person out of the 4 officers, you know, to sign that check.
Are these checks any amount, or are we talking just large checks?
No, right now it's any amount.
Yeah, we should raise that threshold.
Yeah, it would seem that we have a third party company that audits the books every month.
Yes.
So in one sense, that's one level of, you know, what everyone always you know, looks to avoid with organizations and different things is, you know, yeah, somebody writing checks that aren't approved. But if there's somebody reviewing the third party, you know, the bank account every month, then you wouldn't end up with those stories you hear where, you know, money was slipping through the account month after month, you know, something like that. But it seems like Jody and Megan should be able to pay the general bills without having to run around and collect signatures and reports. So I don't know if there's a way to put a limit on that check amount, or if there's a way that I don't know.
Like $5,000 is a typical threshold. Jody could sign checks as a single signature up to 5,000, for example, and then anything over 5,000 would require 2. I mean, that's a pretty common approach. I maybe 5,000 is too low. I don't know, but that, you know, sometimes it's 500, which I think is way too low for Otsego Now's operations. But I think if we made you signatory, Jody, at up to 5,000, and then 5,000 and above.
That makes sense to me. That makes sense to me because you don't draw up the checks. Megan does. So you have a separation between the person that produces the checks and signs the checks. And 5,000 is a pretty reasonable. You don't have a ton of checks that are over 5,000, but under 5,000, and we review all the bills being paid. I think that makes a lot of sense. And a double signature for anything over 5 or 2,500, whatever the group decides, makes sense.
Okay, we'll look into that. It may be that we have to bother everybody again to re-sign all the cards for the bank. So we'll be, and we'll probably include more members on that as a double signature.
Let me just ask a quick question.
Less is more.
Patricia, I'm sorry.
No, but I just said less is more. I don't know that you need that many. You know, when looking at your checks, you don't have a lot of checks that are over 5,000. I would have somebody that's local in Oneonta and another board member. And, you know, I saw Tom raising his hands. He probably signs a lot of checks.
I do, and I signed these checks too, and I'm in town almost every day, so it's not a, you know,
Yeah.
available. I can run down to the office, but I would agree with that. And Jody, you know, it kind of continuity all stays together.
Yep.
Yeah, and once we get through this pandemic, it really isn't a problem with our board. When our board meets, I mean, we usually sign the checks at the board meeting, right. But it's been now 7-8 months where it's difficult, and you know, even a lot of people are still working at home, and.
But you know, I don't think it could go through the pandemic. I mean, this is a kind of policy that kind of everybody has. I don't, you know, I don't know why it would be a board member responsibility for a $500 check, but.
Okay, and then my recommendation is right now to leave the theft coverage at $100,000 and not increase it. Is that agreeable with everybody?
Yeah.
Jody, let me ask you a quick question. What's Manzanaro's opinion on this? They're our auditors.
One of the people I want to check with.
Okay. Great.
This came up yesterday, and we've been trying to figure out a solution for it. But I do want to check with her and get her opinion on it, because they're certainly going to want to see a separate solution. That's why we originally had 2 party checks. But I think as long as Megan draws up the checks and I was one of the signatures, there is a separation there. So I think.
Yeah.
I think
I think that along with the audit of the third party outside of the organization adds a level of comfort. That's fine because this is all done from a state auditing perspective. It's not done from an internal trust perspective. That's where the root of this is. And the reason we're talking about it now is, like everything, as pandemic hits and everybody's job duties change and it becomes, I mean, I've signed thousands of these checks, but I'm not working from the office either, so I'm kind of sporadically coming in to sign checks. So, but the policy that Josh brings up and all of us are supporting makes a lot of sense because we do have those 3 layers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead, Jody.
And Jody, also in the meantime, like Tom, I'm actually working from home here in Oneonta, so I can run down and sign checks as well at this point.
Okay.
The other, just the other thing I would suggest is that somebody write this up as a policy that can be reviewed and then approved by the board,
Yes.
and then it's kind of memorialized. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me
We'll have to pass a resolution.
Yeah, let me just see if I can summarize what we're saying. Is that are we suggesting that there's a $5,000 limit, and that we run that what we're talking about through our auditors and get their opinion? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes.
Okay. Any questions? Okay, go ahead, Jody.
Real quick update on Custom Electronics. They dropped off $454,000 in paid bills, so we'll be doing our final drawdown for $285,000 for them. That effectively will close out the grant because they've already received their target goal of 50 employees. So that's great news.
Great job.
Yeah, super.
Cooperstown Distillery, real quick update. I'll be attending a public hearing in Cooperstown, the second public hearing on that will actually close that grant out. We have one more drawdown between just administrative and program delivery costs, but that project is also winding down. Quick update, I met with Brooks Bottling Company yesterday. They are looking to close on their property in late spring of next year, probably June. Ryan is definitely interested now in applying for any type of financial assistance for the project. So we discussed really briefly us doing a small cities grant application for him based on 50 new jobs that he's projecting within 18 months. They would be eligible for up to $750,000 in grant financing from small cities or community development block grant. In addition to that, I indicated that they probably on the magnitude that he's talking about, just on the acquisition and ballpark renovation costs, you're talking roughly $5 million, and that doesn't include the specialized equipment that he needs. So that'll raise another couple $1 million more than likely. So we probably could do an Excelsior tax credit application to Empire State Development. I explained to Ryan that he's going to have to fill that application out himself because ESD doesn't like third-party people filling out their applications. In addition to that, he's working with NBT Bank, and I suggested that he talk to NBT, and I told him I'd follow up with an email to him today on all these summaries, a summary of what we discussed, that he look at a tax-exempt bond issue for the IDA. But certainly his magnitude would allow him to take advantage of a tax-exempt bond. And obviously he's interested in a pilot agreement, sales tax exemption, and mortgage recording tax exemption. The nice thing is that he's given us enough time to actually do a decent job on this. It's not like some of the other businesses that say I need an answer within 60 days. He's really given us a lot of lead time, which is good. Doing a small cities application will take probably 4 to 5 months. So even if we started next month on it, we wouldn't be able to get approval until probably March or April of next year, which would be in line with his targeted acquisition and start construction date. with his project. So it was a very good meeting. He realizes that what happened with the pandemic, he really, the restaurant business is very marginal, and he's taken a hit this year, and that he sees the real future is in his bottling business, which is actually expanding right now. So that's a summary of what's going on with him. And the last update is Richfield Springs. I did have a meeting up in Richfield Springs, and then there was a meeting with the town board that Andela went to, Cynthia Andela. Right now, there's the majority of the people on both boards, the village and the town, are in favor of moving ahead with this. The supervisor is a little concerned about going into a water and sewer district. And wanted to know why the IDA couldn't just enter into an agreement with the village, which is but it puts the village at uneasy on it. The benefit of creating a water and sewer district is if, say in year 3, Andela Products doesn't pay their water bill, the village has no recourse other than shutting the water off. But whatever monies is owed, they can't collect. If a district is formed, the town can actually put a tax lien on the property, and it makes it more palatable for the village to want to enter into an agreement. The last thing, oh, I'm sorry, anybody have any questions on that? The last thing is our 2021 budget. The only thing that I've really changed in the 2021 budget is I've added actually the Richfield Springs project to account for revenues received and expenditures of roughly $2.4 million for water and sewer extensions. Everything else remains the same. So as the state controller auditor who's been with us now for over a year has indicated, this is just a budget. It's a plan. If we don't go ahead with the Richfield Springs project, it doesn't really change anything on our regular operating budget. But I would like to get a motion and approval to approve the plan.
Question.
Go ahead.
Last month, I think we talked a little bit about trying to get some kind of, I don't know, some way of knowing that Andela was going to move forward with their end of things. Did any of those conversations happen?
Yes, those conversations have happened, and calling on a weekly basis saying, a reminder that by January, February at the latest, but certainly hopefully by January, that she have her financing in place and commit to this project. So there's a lot of push, not just from our office and talking to her about that, but actually now some of the town board and village board members are pushing her to get that information to us.
Is the budget, the last version we had was from October 8th or whatever, beginning of October. It was about 400,000 with like 380 some thousand in expenses. Is the revisions you're talking about substantially different with the Richfield Springs project added in?
What the big difference is that in order to make the project happen, I anticipated doing a tax exempt on anticipation note for $1.2 million. And that first year, the small surplus that we anticipated. The following year, that bond issue drops from 1.2 million in it down to $850,000, because in theory, we'll receive the state reimbursement for the $325,000. So that number then drops down, and at that point in time, we're projecting revenues based on Bella paying off the bond issue. So the second, third, and fourth year of the proposed budget balances out. It's really the first year where we take a hit and we're down to like a surplus of $1,100.
So, Jody, just to follow up on what Josh asked, is it, in your opinion, if Andela does secure financing in January or early February, you believe that the government organizations are ready to go forward?
Yes.
Okay.
In fact, they realize that we want to have those agreements in place by January 1st or soon thereafter.
Okay. Great. Do I have a motion to adopt the 2021 IDA budget?
So moved.
Patricia, did you second? Do we have a second?
No, I can second.
Okay, sorry, I thought you raised your hand.
Yes, I did, but
I just wanted to bring up one quick point before we vote. Jody, I'm just flying through here real quick, but where in that Word document? Oh, I see MVED and Southern Tier 8. I just wanted to mention quickly that up until yesterday, the county had taken out the $10,000, the 5 and 5, but we in our budget committee meeting yesterday, we put it back in. So it is in there for 2021, but it probably would be helpful if you at some moment in time, if you spare moment, if you could send an email to the board, just reiterating, here's the value of Southern Tier 8, here's the value of MVED. I don't think it needs to be anything than just a couple bullet points about each organization, just to reinforce so we don't go backwards on those $5,000 fees, because they are back in the budget now, and I think they'll stay. But if you could just send a quick note to us.
Okay, I will do that.
Any other discussion? We have a motion, we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Looks like we're on public comment. Is there any reason to believe there is anyone on with us at this point in time? If they are on and we don't know about it now, would be the time if you have a question.
No, I think Kurt is caller number 1.
Okay. Hearing no questions, does anyone have a request for an executive session? Hearing no request, I would call for a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So Cheryl, so moved.
Second. Josh seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carried. Meeting is adjourned.
Now we have 2 other quick meetings. One is for the Capital Resource Corporation. And with that, I'll take a roll call. Jeff Joyner is excused. Dave Rowley.
Present.
Jeff Lord.
I'm here.
Craig Gelsman is absent. Tom Armail.
Here.
Patricia Kennedy.
here.
Cheryl Robinson.
Here.
Andrew Marietta.
Here.
And Josh Edmonds.
Here.
We will dispense with the chairman's remarks in the absence of the chairman. I would refer you to the September 24th board meeting minutes. And we need a motion for approval of the September 24th minute.
So moved.
Second?
Cheryl, second.
Discussion. questions? Hearing no questions or discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. New and unfinished business, Jody.
Really, the only new and unfinished business is adopting the 2021, 2024 budget for the purposes of Paris system. I've got to submit. Right now, the budget includes roughly providing subsidies of about $72,000 to both the IDA, which is around $42,000 annual payments that we receive on the bond issues, and another $30,000 in reserve for the local development corporation. Last year we didn't use any of it.
Any questions for Jody at this point? So we're going to need a motion to adopt the CRC budget. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Tom?
Second?
I'll second it, Josh.
Any discussion or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Do you have anything else under unfinished business, Jody?
No, that's it.
See no need for an executive session unless someone is requesting an executive session. Do I have a motion for to adjourn the meeting? Motion to adjourn.
Cheryl.
I think it was Josh and Cheryl seconded. Jody, did you get that?
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 So we are moving to our last agenda item. Is that correct, Jody?
Adjournment? Yeah.
No, we just adjourned. We have one more meeting, correct?
Yes, we have the Board of Directors meeting of the Oneonta Rail Yard Local Development Corporation. Roll call, Jeff Joyner is excused, Dave Rowley,
Present?
Jeff Lord,
Yes, I'm here.
Craig Gelsman is excused, Tom Armeo,
Here.
Patricia Kennedy,
Here.
Cheryl Robinson,
Here.
Andrew Marietta,
Here.
and Josh Edmonds.
Here.
In the absence of the chairman, we'll dispense with the chairman's remarks. I need a motion. The next item on the agenda is the LDC meeting minutes for March 26th. Any additions to that or subtractions, Jody, to the meeting minutes?
No, everybody can remember back that long. Basically, we had the meeting in March was to approve the other Paris reports that are due in the spring. So
Correct. Do I have a motion for approval of the meeting minutes?
Tom?
Second?
Cheryl, second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. New and unfinished business, Jody.
the adoption of the 21 budget. Basically, what I was referring to with the Capital Resource Corporation, in this budget, you'll see $30,000 coming in as revenue and potentially $30,000 coming out of those contracts. This gives us some flexibility if we want to start to do some cleanup, but right now there's really no projects planned at this point until we come back to Projects Committee.
Any questions for Jody about the proposed budget? Pretty straightforward. Do I have a motion for adoption of the budget?
Yep, I make the motion.
I think that was Jeff. Jody. Second?
Patricia, second.
Any further discussion? I shouldn't say further discussion, because there's no discussion, so. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Any request for an executive session? Hearing no requests, just a comment, without me jumping on the first approval for a motion, I notice it's taking us a little bit longer to get motions cast, so hopefully Jeff is around next time so that I can do my thing. Anyway, hearing no further discussion, no need for executive session, can I have a motion for adjournment?
Josh, motion.
Thank you, Josh. That was quick. Second?
Cheryl, second.
Darryl, second. I'm assuming there's no discussion. Correct me if I'm wrong. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed, everybody?
At this point, we appear to be adjourned, Jody.
All right, thank you very much, everybody. We'll talk in a couple of weeks.
Great.
Everyone have a great day.
Everybody, have a good day.
Have a nice weekend.